Hare Krishna, my friends. It's Friday night, and here we are in Bhaktiville, reading from Sri Brahma Samhita. Last week we read about the birth of Brahma, although it may not have sounded like that because of all those surrounding details. A lotus sprang from the navel of Lord Vishnu, and Lord Brahma was in the flower at the top. Today we'll read about what happens next. Remember, there's nothing there yet. It hasn't been created, only the ingredients are there, and it's completely dark. So what does he do? Let's read and find out. We're on page 42 of the PDF, text 24. But before I get going, let me offer my obeisances to Srila Prabhupada, who has made this all possible for us to read and understand. Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pashtaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namani. I offer my respectful obeisances unto His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, who is very dear to Lord Krishna, having taken shelter at His lotus feet. And please accept my obeisances. Vanchakalpa tarubhyascha kripasindubhye vacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. I also offer my respectful obeisances unto the Vaishnava devotees of the Lord all around the world and universes. They are just like desire trees and can fulfill the desires of everyone, and they are full of compassion for the fallen conditioned souls. All right, so page 42 of the PDF, text 24. And we're not going to go through word for word. I'm just gonna sing it once. I've been sick, so my singing is not going to be that great. So I'll only subject you to it once instead of 3 times. All right, but sing along with me. Uvacha puritas tasmai tasya divya saraswati kama krishnaya govinda he gopijana ityapi alabhaya priyadanir mantram te. Your mic is on, Bhakti. It's nice to hear you, though. That's okay. Synonyms. Uvacha, said. Purataha, in front. Tasmai, to him. Tasya, of him, the Supreme Lord. Divya, divine. Saraswati, the goddess of learning. Kama, the Kama Bija, clean. Bija means seed, just so you know. Krishnaya, to Krishna. Govinda, Govindaya, to Govinda. Hey, oh. Gopi Jana, of the gopis. Iti, thus. Api, also. Vallabhaya, to the dear one. Priya Varnehe, the wife of Agni. Svaha. The word svaha is uttered while offering oblations into the fire, right? So Agni is the fire. So mantram, mantra, te, to you, dasyati, will give, priyam, the heart's desire. Translation. Then the goddess of learning, Saraswati, the divine consort of the Supreme Lord, said thus to Brahma, who saw nothing but gloom in all directions. O Brahma, this mantra, namely Klim Krishnaya Govindaya Gopi Jana Vallabhaya Svaha, will assuredly fulfill your heart's desires. Purport. The mantra, consisting of the 18 divine letters prefixed by the Kama Bija, Klim, is alone super excellent. It has a twofold aspect. One aspect is that it tends to make the pure soul run after all attractive Sri Krishna, the Lord of Gokula and the divine milkmaids. This is the acme of the spiritual tendency of jivas. When the devotee is free from all sorts of mundane desires and willing to serve the Lord, he attains the fruition of his heart's desire, namely the love of Krishna. But in the case of the devotee who is not of unmixed aptitude, this super excellent mantra fulfills his heart's desire also. So the transcendental Kama Bija is inherent in the divine logos located in Goloka, and the Kama Bija pervertedly reflected in the material world. Let me say that second part over. And the Kama Bija, pervertedly reflected in the worldly affairs, satisfies all sorts of desires of this mundane world. So I'm going to take a little side trip here. I have it up here on the slide. Since he mentions this, yes. Did I read the wrong purport? No, that's the BBT purport. Oh, Bhaktisiddhanta. Okay. So this, let me just add on to that why it sticks in your mind, is that this is one of the mantras that we repeat when we chant Gayatri. So there's the Gayatri mantra, Om Bhurabhuvah Swaha. We say that first. And then there are 2 verses to our Guru and 2 verses to Lord Chaitanya, and then 2 verses to Krishna. And the first of the 2 verses is this verse, Klim Krishnaya Govindaya Gopi Jana Vallabhaya Svaha. So whenever I get to this verse, I go really slowly because I love this verse so much. And so this has been really nice for me to read this, to kind of nourish that, that I say this all the time. And so all this information is so wonderful. So so on the slide up here, it says on the top left, it says, then the goddess of learning, Saraswati, the divine consort of the Supreme Lord, said thus to Brahma, who saw nothing but gloom in all directions. O Brahma, this mantra, namely Klim Krishnaya Govindaya, Gopi Jana Vallabhaya Svaha, will assuredly fulfill your heart's desire. And then that's it in Sanskrit. So the first squiggle with a line going down is half of the letter K. And then there's kind of a little arm that comes off of that, and that attaches to two little squiggles. It could be like your 2 little hills, and then a line that goes up. That's the L. And then there's a straight line down at the end. That's a long I. That little loop at the top that connects to it indicates that it's a long I. That's Kli. And then there's a little half circle, and that's called a Chandra Bindu. And then the dot, the little half circle is the Chandra, and the little dot above is the Bindu. So Klim. So that's what that is in Sanskrit. So I included this because it elaborates a little bit more on all of the stuff that we've been reading about creation, all the elements and all those things. So the quote I have underneath that is, Sri Bhagavan created the universe by the Kama Bija Klim. In this Kama Bija, the letters K, L, I, sign of the half moon, the Chandra Bindu, and the dot, the Bindu above it, have given rise to the elements of water, earth, fire, air, and space, respectively. Therefore, this mantra, whose heart is the Kama Bija, is the root cause of all living beings. So by living beings, he doesn't mean the jiva, he means the bodies, right? All of that stuff. So I just thought that was just so incredibly interesting. Even though I've been reading this stuff for so many years, I'll run into something that's just fascinating. So this to me was fascinating. Any questions about that, Dr. Thor? I guess not. I'm not seeing or hearing anything. Whatever you like. You can write or speak. It doesn't matter. You have any? Right. Yes. Yes. So, go ahead. Yes. But no, what he's saying is that this mantra will make the pure soul run after Krishna. Plus, if you're not a pure devotee, it will satisfy desires of the mundane world. So it'll either help you or hurt you. Well, if your goal, if your goal is to be with Krishna, it's going to hurt you. If your goal is to become the overlord of the universe, then it's going to help you. Well, that's not a mundane desire. Wanting Krishna is not a mundane desire, so it's not going to do that. Right. It's going to help the pure soul run after Krishna, and the unpure soul, it's going to make them want to become the overlord of the universe. It's going to satisfy those mundane desires. Yeah. Yes. Yes. There's that. There's that. Okay. Text 25. It's just half a. Tapas tvam tapa etina tavasiddhir bhavishyati. Tapaha, spiritual austerity. Tvam, you. Tapa, practice. Etina, by this. Tava, your. Siddhihi, fulfillment. Bhavishyati, will be. Translation. O Brahma, do thou practice spiritual association by means of this mantra, then all your desires will be fulfilled. So I want to take another little diversion and let me copy and paste this into chat. We're going to go to the database, folks, and look at verses 5 through 9, Srimad Bhagavatam, 2nd Canto, 9th chapter, verses 5 through 9. Because I think it'll help understand what's going on. So text 5, Lord Brahma, the first spiritual master, supreme in the universe, could not trace out the source of his lotus seat. And while thinking of creating the material world, he could not understand the proper direction for such creative work, nor could he find out the process for such creation. While thus engaged in thinking in the water, Brahmaji, because he's sitting there in this lotus in the water, Brahmaji heard twice from nearby 2 syllables joined together. One of the syllables was taken from the 16th and the other from the 21st of the Sparsha alphabets, and both joined to become the wealth of the renounced order. So the Sparsha are the consonants, so the 2 sounds are ta and pa, tapa. Text 7. When he heard the sound, he tried to find the speaker, searching on all sides. But when he was unable to find anyone besides himself, he thought it wise to sit down on his lotus seat firmly and give his attention to the execution of penance as he was instructed. So tapa means austerity or penance. Tapa. Text 8. Lord Brahma underwent penances for 1,000 years by the calculations of the demigods. He heard this transcendental vibration from the sky, and he accepted it as divine. Thus he controlled his mind and senses, and the penances he executed were a great lesson for the living entities. Thus he is known as the greatest of all ascetics. Text 9. The personality of Godhead, being thus very much satisfied with the penance of Lord Brahma, was pleased to manifest his personal abode, Vaikuntha, the supreme planet above all others. This transcendental abode of the Lord is adored by all self-realized persons, freed from all kinds of miseries and fear of illusory existence. So one of the reasons why I wanted to bring that story of Tapa up is that I was surprised when I read Brahma Samhita, because this section that we just read, that he was given this mantra by Saraswati, because I'd always heard what he heard was tapa, austerity. And so then I took a deep dive, what's the deal? Tapa or Kama Bija, what's going on here? And so apparently, tapas first, and then he received this mantra from Saraswati, and then given this vision of Vaikuntha. So I'm sure that doesn't clear it up for anybody else, but it cleared it up for me. So I was really happy to discover that. But the thing is, as devotees, we practice austerities all the time, but we don't, because we're engaged in the whole process, it doesn't seem like it. So we're vegetarian. There's the regulative principles, that's tapasya. There's chanting japa, there's associating with devotees, and all the things, the tilak, all the things that we do are a form of tapa. We are enmeshed. The whole process of bhakti, tapa, is enmeshed in what we do. So, but we don't really recognize it because, heck, yes. So, don't despair, those of you out there who are listening to us. Tapa, not a problem. We do a lot of tapa every day, and it's part of our lives. And apparently, Brahma, beginning of his life, a part of his beginning of his life. So, and our mantra that he was given a mantra. We are given the Hare Krishna mantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. All right, so the next verse, since we had that little tiny half a verse, now we have a really long verse, text 26. Atatepe satsuchiram prinam govind avyayam svetadvipapatim krishnam golokastam parat param prakritya guna rupinya parupasitam sahasradala sampane koti kinjalka brimmate bhumischinta manistatra Karnikare Mahasane Samasinam Chit Ananda Jyotirupam Sanatanam Shabda Brahma Mayam Venu Vadayantam Mukambuje Virasini Kanavrittam Svayarsam Amshar Abhishtutam. Synonyms. Ata, then. Tepe, practiced austerity. Saha, he, Brahma. Suchiram, for a long time. Prinam, satisfying. Govindam, Govinda. Avyayam, imperishable. Shvetadvip, Paktim, the Lord of Shvetadvip. Krishnam, Krishna. Golokastam, situated in Goloka. Parat Param, the greatest of all. Prakritya, by the external energy. Guna Rupinya, embodying all mundane qualities. Rupinya, possessing form. Paripasitam, worshipped from outside. Sahasradala Sampane, on a lotus of 1,000 petals. Koti Kinjoka, by millions of filaments. Brahmite, augmented. Bhumihi, the land. Chintamanihi, magical touchstone. Tatra, there. Karnikare, on the world. Maha Asane, on a great throne. Samasinam, seated. Chit Anandam, the form of transcendental bliss. Jyoti Rupam, the form of effulgence. Sanatanam, eternal. Shabda Brahma, divine sound. Mayam, comprising. Venum, the float. Vadayantam, playing. Mukha Ambuje, at his lotus mouth. Vilasini Ganna, by the gopis. Vritam, surrounded. Svai, own respective. Amshai, by subjective portions. Abhishtam, worshipped. Translation. Brahma, being desirous of satisfying Govinda, practiced the cultural acts for Krishna and Goloka, Lord of Shvetadvip, for a long time. His meditation ran thus, quote, there exists a divine lotus of 1,000 petals, augmented by millions of filaments in the transcendental land of Goloka. On its whirl, there exists a great divine throne on which is seated Sri Krishna, the form of eternal effulgence of transcendental bliss, playing on his divine flute, resonant with the divine sound, with his lotus mouth. He is worshipped by his amorous milkmaids with their respective subjective portions and extensions, and also by his external energy, who stays outside, embodying all mundane qualities. End quote. Purport. Although the object of meditation is fully transcendental, yet owing to her nature, which is permeated with the quality of active mundane hankering, Maya, the non-spiritual potency of Krishna, embodying the principles of mixed sattva, rajas, and tamas in the forms of Durga and other non-spiritual powers, meditated on the Supreme Lord as the object of their worship. So long as there is any trace of mundane desire in one's heart, it is the object of worship of Mayadevi, Durga, who has to be worshipped by such a person. Nevertheless, the fulfillment of one's heart's desire results from the worship of the object of worship of Mayadevi, which is Krishna, and not from the worship of Mayadevi herself. This is in accordance with the shloka, Akama sarva kamava, moksha kama udaradi, tivrena bhakti yogina, yajeta purusham param, from Srimad Bhagavatam 2:3-10. And the translation of that is, I'll just read that, a person who has broader intelligence, whether he be full of all material desire, without any material desire, or desiring liberation, must by all means worship the Supreme Whole, the personality of Godhead. So whether you want to or not, there's no way you can get around it because it's all about Krishna. So that's my meaning. But here's what he says. The meaning of the shloka of the Bhagavatam is that though other gods, as distinct manifestations of the Supreme Lord, are bestowers of sundry specific boons, yet a sensible person should worship the all-powerful Supreme Lord, giver of all good, with unalloyed devotion, without worshiping those mundane gift-giving deities. Accordingly, Brahma meditated upon Krishna in Goloka, the object of the worship, from a distance of Mayadevi. True devotion is unalloyed devotional activity, free from mundane desire. So recall, unalloyed means pure. It's not an alloy, it's the pure thing. So true devotion is pure devotional activity, free from all mundane desire. Devotion of Brahma, etc., is not unmixed devotion. So that means it is mixed. But there is a stage of unmixed predilection, even in devotion, for the attainment of one's selfish desire. This has been fully described in the concluding 5 shlokas of this work. That is the easiest method of divine service, prior to the attainment of self-realization by fallen souls. And we're going to stop there because the next one is a little bit longer than we should go. I don't know. I think it's a little too much more. It's a good place to stop, yeah. But it's beautiful, isn't it? I'm just Okay, a pure devotee is not going to say, "Oh yeah, well yeah, you're right. I'm a pure devotee." They're not going to say that. They're they're humble, and they see their faults more than anyone else sees their faults. So they're not going to say that. They're going to divert to some other kind of conversation. Uh, right, right. But, I've seen that too. Over the past 50 plus years, I've seen devotees come and go. And the thing is, though, and I've talked to some of them who've left, and they still very much think about Krishna. There's there's no way that that they'll be done with Krishna. Krishna's not done with them, and so they're still thinking about him. They're still all those things. He's still very much a part of their inner life. Exactly. Uh-huh. Yeah, they're still thinking about. We're gonna kick you out. We're gonna kick you out of here. Um, yeah, people are still thinking about Krishna. So I know I have a couple of friends on Facebook still who've rejected the whole thing, and I still am friends with them and still comment on their posts on Facebook. I don't bring up Krishna because I know they wouldn't feel good about that, but they're still devotees. They're still. It's amazing. It's amazing. It's yeah, 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 definitely, definitely. Yeah, when I was younger, they told us we should never go to Krishna um, for things. We should never ask Krishna for things. And as being brought up as a Christian, we went to Jesus for everything. Oh Jesus, this boy doesn't like me anymore. I don't know what to do. Oh Jesus, I don't. All these things we would do, and as a devotee, I was kind of stuck. Like, what am I supposed to do? And then tragic things started happening to me, and I had no idea what to do. And then I was like, okay, listen, Krishna, if if there's no one else to go to about these things, you're my only source. You're the only person I can go to about this, and so I am going to you about this, and I'm going to talk with you about this. And it really turned out really well. It just what was I thinking? Why were people telling us not to do that? Of course we should go to Krishna for everything. Not like the Janis Joplin song, that you want a new color TV or a Cadillac or anything. But, if you're in distress, you know, um, Kunti went to Krishna in distress. Draupadi went to Krishna in distress. There are lots of stories of people going to Krishna in distress. So he's the one to go. There you go. That's a good place to stop. Well, thank you very much. A very nice discussion. We had an interesting insight into this little mantra here, Klim, and the bija, the Klim bija, how it relates to the creation of the elements that Brahma will then use to create all these bodies for all the living entities. And then he has this vision, and he focuses on this vision. And so soon, I think we've got 2 or 3 more verses until he launches into all of those gorgeous prayers about Krishna. The Govind, with the refrain, Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami. So we have just a few more verses before we get to those. And when we get to the first one, I'm going to play Srila Prabhupada singing that first verse. So there's a recording of him singing the first couple of verses. So we'll get into that. All right, in the meantime, have a wonderful time. Thank you so much for letting us enter your lives, and thank you, Bhaktiville, for letting me read here on Friday nights. Take care, everyone. Keep chanting. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna.